Yearbook Ephemera pieces. I got inspired to do this project from Ricky Tikki Tabby. I became friends with her through Instagram, and she has a YouTube channel also, so I will tag that in the description box below. She did some really cute things with some yearbook pages, and it inspired me to do some things of my own. So I will never get through the whole stash of scraps that I have. It's just never going to happen. But yeah, I ink some of that white lace because that's like really white, and that lace looks like really brown now, but it works. You know, it works. I'm having some glue bottle dilemmas. I have a new set of needle tip glue bottles in my Temu cart. I will keep you posted on how they work. Obviously, it won't be for a while. I haven't checked out yet. I'm still adding things to my order. So that's what this video is for, because I'm finally able to get around to it. So I'm using some of my scraps, and I'm trying to figure out how to orient those images so that I can use the whole sheet of scrap. And I figured that I could fold the paper in half and get 2 columns of pictures. And then I figured a way to make a bunch of equal size rectangles to back them on. So no measuring involved, just eyeing up everything in this project. I grabbed ribbon, I grabbed lace, I grabbed a bunch of things, burlap, that's that cheap burlap ribbon stuff, to make some embellishments. My original plan was paper clips. So that was the original idea, but it ends up being too big. They're not all small enough to do on paper clips. So we're going to make some other things too, which you will see. And I am cutting this out of a master board that I made on a manila file folder. I hope my neighbor is not too loud because he's mowing across the street, and it is just really nice to be outside doing this. So I'm sorry if it's loud over there. He's gone back in the woods further, I think. So anyway, I again eyeballed up the strips on the folder, and I made a couple of different widths, maybe 3 different widths, and then this one I ended up having one really short piece. But I learned there are 2 different sizes of images there that I cut up. There are small ones and then slightly larger ones, so I separated them off camera before we got to this point. I do have yearbook image packs in my Etsy store, which is linked down below. You get quite a few, and there's a bunch of different sizes, so you could play with all kinds of different things. These were just the 2 pages I had from a project I was doing, and they both had small portraits, so I said, well, I'll just make some small stuff. And I have a ton of lace and a ton of trim, and you just try and use it up, and you try and just use your scraps up. I learned today that that is never ever going to happen, because all I do is take one big scrap and turn it into a bunch of small scraps. That's it. That's all I do. So yeah, like, I have a billion little itty bitty pieces of scrap now from this project. Like, I just can't win. It's just, it multiplies. I'm sorry, I try to pause the video when a car goes by, because I don't know if it's because the road is down in a valley between our house and the guy across the street or what, but it is so loud when a vehicle drives by my house, especially on a video like this or like when I'm on the phone. So anyway, I am just trying to layer up texture. I have some old graph paper. That's what you saw me cutting those rectangles earlier. It's nice and yellowed. I have this piece of lace. I got a ton of that lace. I have lace packs with that lace in it, if you are interested in some of it. But it's nice because it's really thin and it lays flat, and it's not super jazzy. It's like just a little bit enough to put something on top of and have it add a little bit of lace texture. So I really love that stuff. And like I said, I have a ton. I have no clue when I'm going to go through it all, but I'm going to be upset the day I do, because it works great for projects like this. But I probably won't be too upset because I have a billion more. These are ribbons. I love this fabric ribbon. I love this maker, same manufacturer for all these ribbons. I don't remember their name, but it is fabric completely fabric, no starches or anything. It's just strips of fabric, and I just love this ribbon. But I have so much of it, so I've got to use it, and I'm like, this will be really nice, but not for the boys, obviously. I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to do all women. So I put women on the whole sheet there, so it worked out well. Although in the end I don't have a whole lot of boy stuff, so please just know that I don't hate boys, okay? I mean, I do, but I don't. I left this part in because I tried to use those decorative scissors from Michaels, those cheapos, and they don't work. They wouldn't cut through the fabric ribbon, so here I am. You know, just boring old scissors. I was like, oh man, I should really get some pinking shears for paper. I might have to do that. So this is where I discover that it's going to be, they're kind of big to make into paper clips. Kind of big. I can do it, I can get away with some, but I cannot get away with doing all of them on a paper clip. Some of them are just way too humongous. It's been a long time since I made a paper clip. I just glued this on here, and then later on I'll put a little something on the back of the clip, you know, because it is good to have something on both sides, but I just didn't have anything that I really wanted to, so I said, well, I'll just die I'll just die cut some masterboard pieces or punch them out like little circles or something simple, and just to cover the back of the paper clip, because like I said, I think it reinforces the paper clip image or whatever you're trying to hang off the top of it. So yeah. But I do have a couple different things that I do besides just paper clips. I grabbed my awl, because at the time I couldn't find my hole puncher, and I attached bulb pins. And what this will be good for is, like, I'm working on a journal right now, and I might add some fabric tabs with some of that ribbon, and these would be cool hanging out of the pieces of fabric, or hanging out of a dangle eyelet as jewelry for the spine. You know, spine jewelry is always nice to make. So, you know, with those bulb pins and the way they just hang off of there, you could use it for anything. You could make it into a dangle or a charm if you wanted to. I've seen some really awesome dangles in spine jewelry made out of the most random stuff, and they come out so cool. So yeah, I did that because I've got bulb pins, and I've got bulb pins on the way. And I just did a few, and then I'm going to experiment some more because I really like the idea of using this masterboard. I'm really impressed with how these book page masterboards come out, because it really is a very big array of color, and it's really nice as a backing for just about any kind of a project, whether it be vintage style like this or a colorful style even, because it kind of stays sort of neutral, and then it you know, pops out when it needs to and where it needs to, or you could make it pop out where you want it to. But I think that it coordinates well with colorful pieces and vintage style pieces, because they're just so versatile when you have multiple book pages. And if you're looking for book pages, get a hold of me, because I have got a ton of book pages, and I'm sure that a lot of them would love to be a part of your home and your craft projects. But I do really have a lot of fun with the scraps and the colors. I make my own tag by cutting off a corner and then lining it up on the other side, because I can never get my corners even. I don't know about you, but I cannot. But I got it done, and you know, it took forever, which is why I really have to speed up and edit my videos, because if there is one thing that's for certain, it's that I have gotten so much slower. When I'm crafting, I just really take my time, and I just really like to look through things and, you know, remember where I got different things, and I just like to play with my toys. Okay, I just like to play with my stuff, and sometimes I'm not very productive when I'm playing with my stuff. Okay, So don't judge, because you're not very productive either. You're not going to lie. I know the truth. But I made another tag, and that was a manila file folder too, even though it wasn't in manila color, because it was one of the purple ones. So whenever I get those multicolored ones, I really try and use them for stuff like this, because then look, you got a cool purple tag. But then I decide I am going to use some of this paper that I got, that I made, that I had left over, a piece of scrap from my big supply flows that I still have one left. But yeah, I wanted to use some of that, and it blended in very nicely with the background. It was like just enough something, you know? It doesn't seem to matter how many of them I cut. I can never make them even, so I just do it that way. And I put some eyelash trim through that hole. Again, I was missing my hole puncher, so I edited out all the crazy trying to loop a piece of eyelash trim through that little itty bitty hole with a needle. Took some work, I'll tell you. And I turned these into bookmarks, which is also a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the idea of having these for bookmarks. And I might make some more of these as bookmarks, I don't know, but I have plenty of stuff to make them with, so I might. But I was really in the zone here. I don't know if you ever have that happen, where you just really get right into the zone and there's no, background noise, and it's just you're in there. You're in that zone, and you are not coming out. And that's what happened here, until I came out of that zone when Vera told me she was hungry. And that ended that this morning. But anyway, I glue these little pieces, and I don't really like how they came out, but whatever, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I was trying to use the little bitty pieces. And there's my hole puncher. I'm like, yay! I can thread something through this hole without a needle. Woohoo! Sorry if that was loud. That was a vehicle driving by, but it sounded quieter, but it probably wasn't. They're very loud, these vehicles. So I have a ton of these eyelash trims too, if you're looking for a variety eyelash. All this stuff I have is stuff that I sell, because I buy things that I like, and then I take whatever excess there is and I sell it. And that's what I do with trims and laces and all that stuff. Those yearbook images and my fussy cuts, I sell them, because I'm never going to go through all this stuff in the course of my lifetime, and I don't have places to store all this stuff. I don't know if this is the right way to make those hidden paper clips, but I'm doing my thing. I still have not gone in and closed them because they were still wet. It's pretty humid here, so glue's not really wanting to dry. But yeah, I don't know if that's the right way, so I guess I'll let you know one of these days if that was the right way to do it. I still have to just close it back up. They're still open-ish. I hope they close okay. But if you are looking for a way to get things to stay, then use a binder clip, because if you put a binder clip on the paper clip, the binder clip doesn't stick to the glue. So if you need to hold that paper clip down in that glue, just get a binder clip. That's what I did. All I had were my large binder clips, but it worked out just fine for what I was doing. And I save you the suffering of all the tedious trying to glue it. And I cut it all out like that with the magic of television. And then I had this little piece left, and I'm not going to waste nothing, so I'm going to use this small piece too and put, a paper clip, do a paper clip on it. First, I had to touch up a little spot that came up on the fold. That's common with brittle old papers. You will have crackling and bending of all kinds of old papers that don't want to be crackled and bent. Again, strip of scrapbook paper. It actually was from the top, those pads that have the little strip at the top of the paper. Well, that's from that. So I don't usually keep those, but then every once in a while I do keep them. See, there I am on my binder clip. making sure that thing stays on there. And I'm looking for, that was double-sided scrapbook paper, so I'm looking for another piece from the other side that could complement it. And sure enough, I find this nice little florally paper to use on here. And I don't usually show my gluing. I've been kind of cutting that out, but I said, well, for this you can see, you know, you can watch me glue down some lace, okay? It ain't gonna kill you. This is only a 17-minute long video. I could have gave you the whole 2 hours of this video that it originally was going to be with my tedious crap, but I didn't. I did you the favor of shortening it and making it more viewer friendly, okay? I did it for you because I love you, because I'm proud of you. So anyway, I decided to add some more bulb pins on these larger ones and a couple of the smaller ones too. I said, well, you know, they can't all be paper clips, so I will just do this. And those are little birds yelling at each other. I don't know if you can hear it. Anyways, the bulb pin thing is cool, and then, you know, some of them, I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I will just make them into a little corner tuck or a cluster, or maybe I will put it on its own belly band. I don't know. The ones that are backed anyway, that are already backed on the manila folder, because it kind of thickens them up. Testing out my paper clip, and it clips, so works for me. But again, my hidden paper clip is still drying. So these are all what I have left, and these are, and the things that I made are over here. Yeah, those are very lovely. Some dangly doodads, some bookmarks, and oh, those were just pieces that I didn't put anything on yet. My tags and some pieces. So yeah, this was a really fun project, and I hope that it inspires you to create with pictures or something that's not usual for you. Ta-ta for now.